Napoleon Hill was born in 1883 in a small village in Virginia, USA. His childhood was not easy. He grew up in a poor family, surrounded by mountains and hard work. When Napoleon was very young, his mother passed away. This loss changed his life deeply. He became quiet, angry, and confused. Many people around him believed that poverty was destiny. They thought that being born poor meant staying poor forever. But Napoleon was different. Even as a child, he asked deep questions. He wanted to understand why some people succeeded while others failed, even when they worked just as hard. At school, Napoleon was not rich or powerful, but he was curious. He loved reading and writing. He was especially interested in stories about successful people. He wanted to know how they thought, how they made decisions, and how they believed in themselves. As a teenager, Napoleon worked many small jobs to survive. Life taught him discipline early. He learned that nothing comes easily. But instead of accepting a difficult life, he started to believe that the mind is more powerful than circumstances. One important moment changed his direction. Napoleon got a chance to work as a young journalist. This job allowed him to meet important people and ask them questions. He realized that knowledge could open doors that money could not. At this stage of his life, Napoleon Hill was still unknown. He had no wealth, no influence, and no clear plan. But he had something powerful: belief. He believed that thoughts shape reality. He believed that success begins in the mind. This was the foundation of his life philosophy. Napoleon Hill's life changed forever in 1908. At that time, he was working as a young journalist. His task was simple: interview successful people and write articles about them. One day, he received a very special assignment: to interview Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest and most powerful men in the world. Napoleon was nervous when he entered Carnegie's office. He was young, poor, and unknown. Andrew Carnegie was confident, experienced, and respected. Many people would have felt small in that situation. But Napoleon believed in one thing: the power of questions. During the interview, Napoleon asked Carnegie about success. He wanted to know why some people achieved great things while others failed. Carnegie listened carefully. Then he surprised Napoleon by asking him a question: "Are you willing to spend the next 20 years of your life studying successful people and discovering the secret of success?" Napoleon was shocked. He had not expected this. 20 years was a long time. There was no promise of money, no guarantee of fame, only hard work and belief. Carnegie explained his vision. He wanted Napoleon to study the minds of successful people and create a philosophy that anyone could use. Napoleon did not hesitate for long. He said yes. That moment was risky. Friends and family later told Napoleon he was foolish. They said he was wasting his life. But Napoleon trusted his intuition. He believed this opportunity was bigger than fear. Carnegie introduced Napoleon to powerful people: business leaders, inventors, and thinkers. Napoleon gained access to minds that most people could only dream of meeting. But this opportunity came with responsibility. He had to observe carefully, listen deeply, and think clearly. This part of Napoleon Hill's life teaches an important lesson. One decision can change the direction of your entire life, but only if you have belief and courage. Napoleon Hill left Carnegie's office with no money, but with a mission. After meeting Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill began his long journey. His mission was clear: study successful people and discover how they think. This was not an easy task. It required patience, discipline, and deep focus. Napoleon started interviewing business leaders, inventors, and entrepreneurs. He did not only ask about money or business. He asked about habits, beliefs, fears, and decisions. Slowly, he noticed patterns. Successful people did not think like everyone else. One of the first lessons Napoleon discovered was the power of clear goals. Successful people knew exactly what they wanted. They did not depend on luck. They planned their lives with purpose. Another important lesson was belief. Successful people believed in their ideas, even when others laughed at them. They trusted their inner voice. Napoleon realized that belief is not just hope. It is a strong mental state that pushes action. However, this journey was lonely. Napoleon worked for many years without recognition. He traveled constantly. He wrote notes, observations, and ideas. Many people doubted him. Some said his work was useless. Others said success could not be taught. There were moments when Napoleon felt tired and discouraged. But he remembered Carnegie's words. He understood that meaningful work takes time. Instead of quitting, he strengthened his belief. Napoleon also learned about persistence. Every successful person he studied had failed many times. Failure was not the end. It was a lesson. This idea later became central to his philosophy. This part of his life teaches us a powerful truth. Success is not magic. It is a mindset. When you change the way you think, you change the way you live. Napoleon Hill was slowly building a system, a way of thinking that anyone could learn. While Napoleon Hill was studying successful people, his own life was not successful at all. This was the hardest irony of his journey. He was learning about wealth, belief, and achievement, but he was poor, struggling, and often close to giving up. Napoleon spent many years traveling and researching. He worked long hours, wrote thousands of notes, and interviewed powerful people. However, this work did not bring him money. There were times when he could not pay his bills. He moved from place to place, searching for opportunities. Many people criticized him. They asked, "If you understand success so well, why are you not rich?" These words hurt him deeply. Doubt entered his mind. Sometimes, even Napoleon questioned his own mission. But instead of quitting, he used his situation as a lesson. He realized something important. Belief must be stronger than circumstances. Success does not come instantly. It comes after testing your patience and faith. Napoleon faced business failures and bad partnerships. He trusted people who later betrayed him. He lost money and reputation. Each failure felt heavy, but each one also taught him something new about human nature and discipline. During these dark years, Napoleon refined his ideas. He understood that mindset alone is not enough. Action, persistence, and clarity are also required. Belief without action is only a dream. This part of his life teaches a powerful lesson. Even those who teach success must pass through struggle. Knowledge becomes wisdom only through experience. Napoleon Hill did not give up. He believed his work had meaning. He believed his philosophy would help millions one day, even if he could not see that future yet. After many years of failure and struggle, Napoleon Hill understood one clear truth. Knowledge is useless if it stays only in the mind. He had learned from the greatest minds of his time, but now he needed to share those ideas with the world. Napoleon began organizing his notes. He had thousands of pages filled with interviews, observations, and personal experiences. It was not easy. He felt overwhelmed and tired. Sometimes he doubted whether people would even care about his work. Money was still a serious problem. Napoleon lived a simple life. He worked from small rooms, often late at night. While others slept, he wrote and rewrote his ideas. He believed that discipline during hard times would build future success. During this period, Napoleon faced another challenge: rejection. Publishers were not interested in his ideas. Some said his philosophy was too idealistic. Others said people wanted quick success, not deep thinking. But Napoleon remembered Andrew Carnegie's words, "Do not give up." This belief kept him moving forward. He slowly shaped his philosophy into clear principles. He focused on ideas like desire, faith, persistence, and organized planning. He believed that success followed patterns, and anyone could learn them. Napoleon also realized something powerful. Success begins with a burning desire. Not a weak wish, but a strong inner decision. This idea became the foundation of his future work. He saw that people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack belief and direction. Although success had not yet arrived, Napoleon felt closer than ever. His mission became stronger than his fear. He was no longer just studying success. He was living its principles. Napoleon Hill was now fully focused on his mission, but success still felt far away. Even though his ideas were clear, the world was slow to listen. Many days, he questioned himself. Was his work truly valuable? Or was he wasting his life chasing a dream? To survive, Napoleon took small jobs. He wrote articles, gave lectures, and worked as a consultant. The money was little, but he never stopped writing his main work. Every free moment was used to improve his philosophy. One important lesson he learned during this time was persistence. Napoleon noticed that most people quit when results do not come quickly. He promised himself he would not make that mistake. There were moments when failure seemed final. Some of his projects collapsed at the last minute. Promises from partners were broken. Trust was lost. Each failure hurt deeply, but Napoleon refused to let bitterness control him. Instead, he studied failure. He asked himself why things went wrong. He believed that every failure carries a lesson if a person is willing to learn. Slowly, people began to notice him. A few readers wrote letters, thanking him for his ideas. Some said his words helped them regain hope. These small signs gave Napoleon strength. They proved his philosophy had real power. Napoleon also realized that success was not only about money. It was about influence. Changing how people think was more meaningful than earning quick wealth. During this period, he refined his belief system even more. He became convinced that the mind could shape reality. Thoughts, when mixed with emotion and action, could change a person's destiny. Although he still struggled financially, Napoleon felt internally rich. His confidence grew stronger. He knew that his breakthrough was coming. He just did not know when. After many years of struggle, Napoleon Hill finally received an opportunity that would change his life. One day, he was invited to speak at a small business event. The audience was not large, but something important happened there. Among the listeners was a successful businessman who had read some of Napoleon's articles. He was impressed by Napoleon's clear ideas about belief and mindset. After the event, the man approached Napoleon and asked him a simple question. Why are your ideas not known by more people? This question stayed in Napoleon's mind. He realized that his biggest problem was not lack of knowledge, but lack of exposure. His philosophy was strong, but it needed a bigger platform. Soon after, Napoleon received support from a few influential people. They encouraged him to turn his life's work into a complete book. For the first time, someone truly believed in his vision. This gave Napoleon new energy. He worked day and night, organizing his thoughts, rewriting chapters, and making his message simple and powerful. He wanted ordinary people to understand complex ideas easily. However, the road was still not smooth. Publishers rejected his work many times. They said people were not interested in philosophy or mindset. They believed practical skills mattered more than belief. Napoleon did not argue. He simply continued. Each rejection made him more determined. He remembered Andrew Carnegie's words about persistence and faith. Finally, a publisher agreed to take a chance. It was not a big deal at first, but for Napoleon, it was a dream coming true. His ideas would finally reach the public. When the first copies were printed, Napoleon felt something he had never felt before: validation. Not from money, but from purpose. His long years of struggle now had meaning. He understood that success comes when preparation meets opportunity. If he had quit earlier, this moment would never have arrived. After Napoleon Hill's work was finally published, something unexpected began to happen. At first, only a small number of people read his book. There were no big advertisements or promotions. Everything grew slowly, but honestly. Readers started sending letters to Napoleon. They shared stories about how his ideas helped them change their thinking. Some found confidence after years of doubt. Others started businesses or improved their careers because they believed in themselves for the first time. Napoleon carefully read every letter. These messages confirmed one important truth. Belief was not just a theory. It was a real force that could change lives. As word spread, more people became interested in his philosophy. Schools, clubs, and organizations invited him to speak. Napoleon traveled often, speaking about mindset, goals, and persistence. He explained that success begins in the mind before it appears in real life. During these speeches, Napoleon noticed something powerful. People from different backgrounds shared the same fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of trying. His message connected with everyone because it addressed universal struggles. Even though his success was growing, Napoleon remained humble. He remembered the years when nobody listened to him. This memory kept him grounded and thankful. However, success also brought pressure. People expected answers for every problem. Napoleon realized that responsibility grows with influence. He worked harder to study, observe, and refine his ideas. One lesson became very clear to him: a strong belief must be supported by continuous learning. Without growth, belief becomes empty. Napoleon was no longer just a writer. He became a guide for people searching for direction and meaning. As Napoleon Hill became more well-known, his life did not become easier. In fact, new challenges appeared. Fame brought attention, but also criticism. Some people questioned his ideas and said success could not come from belief alone. Napoleon listened carefully, but did not react emotionally. He understood that doubt from others was normal. Not everyone is ready to accept new ideas, especially ideas that require interchange. At the same time, he faced personal pressure. People depended on his words. Many wrote to him asking for guidance during difficult moments. Napoleon felt the weight of responsibility, but he did not run from it. Instead, he returned to his core principle: belief must be tested to become strong. When belief is comfortable, it is weak. When it survives pressure, it becomes powerful. Napoleon continued studying successful people. He noticed that they all experienced moments of doubt, but they did not allow doubt to control their actions. They used challenges as training, not as excuses. There were moments when Napoleon felt tired and uncertain. Late at night, he questioned himself. Was his work truly helping people? Was he worthy of the trust others placed in him? During these moments, he reminded himself why he started. He did not chase fame or money. His mission was to help people realize their inner power. Napoleon learned another deep lesson. True belief includes patience. Results do not always appear quickly. Sometimes, the mind must change long before life changes. By staying focused on purpose instead of praise, Napoleon protected his philosophy from becoming shallow. His belief was no longer just an idea. It had become a tested truth. Napoleon Hill's journey was not defined by one book or one success. It was defined by a lifelong commitment to understanding the power of the human mind. Through years of study, failure, and reflection, he created a philosophy that helped millions of people change how they think. His most famous work, Think and Grow Rich, was not just about money. It was about belief, clarity, and purpose. Napoleon wanted people to understand that success begins inside the mind before it appears in real life. Even later in life, Napoleon continued teaching, writing, and speaking. He believed that learning never ends and that the mind must be trained daily. He reminded people that no external situation is stronger than a focused and disciplined mind. Napoleon's greatest lesson was simple but powerful. What the mind believes, life can achieve. He taught that belief must be combined with action, patience, and persistence. Dreams without effort remain dreams. Effort without belief leads to exhaustion. Many people tried his ideas and failed because they gave up too soon. Napoleon always said that success often comes right after the moment people quit. His legacy lives on because his message is timeless. The world changes, technology changes, but the human mind remains the same. Fear, doubt, hope, and belief still control human decisions. Today, people across the world continue to read his books, watch his speeches, and apply his principles. His story proves that one person's belief can influence generations. Napoleon Hill did not just write about success. He created a way of thinking.